Hello guys and welcome back to Cooler's Corner. Today we'll be going over the Girona against FC Barcelona game at the Montjuic. This game ended up 4-2 to Girona, leaving Girona at the top of the table at 41 points and FC Barcelona ending right below Atletico Madrid in fourth place at 34 points. Obviously the Madrid does have that game in hand, so they could go 3 points clear, leaving Barcelona in a pretty bad spot, especially after taking that very important victory against Atletico Madrid. So in this video I want to just delve into the goals and the structure of FC Barcelona and kind of what happened, especially with the misorganization and the complete mess that has been the FC Barcelona defense over the past couple of games. I think this is something to definitely get into in this video. So let's get into the lineups. So into the lineups we go. Here we see that Girona starts with a 3-4-3 essentially, with a three at the back of Eric Garcia, Daley Blind, who are their traditional center backs, and then Lopez being their CDM here, with Couto, the right back, and Gutierrez, the left back. They ended up playing a lot more higher up the pitch, which is why FootMob here has it as a 3-5-2. Garcia, their main CDM kind of goal scorer and creator, being right here in that CDM role next to Martin. And then you have Sigankov, Savio, and Dobbik, obviously the goal scoring threat from Girona, all managed by Michel. And then on the other side, we have FC Barcelona's lineup, obviously coached under Xavi Hernandez. We have the 4-3-3, so they started with Cancelo at left back, Christensen and Araujo at the center back, Koundé at the right back position, which has been a very debated position for FC Barcelona. We don't really have a right back, and that's been a very big issue, especially because we've been playing Araujo at right back and now Koundé. And the midfield looks really solid with Pedri, Gundogan, and De Jong, with Gavi being missing after his major ACL tear. Joao Felix keeping that left wing spot after his great performance against Atletico Madrid. Lewandowski staying at the 9 despite his very shaky few games that he's had lately, and then Rafinha at the right wing spot. Okay, so here we go. So first we are gonna be going over Girona's first goal. Essentially, when Barcelona is attacking, we see a 4-3-3, but very wide open. Cancelo gives us a ton of width here on this left-hand side with Joao Felix. Basically, the reason why Cancelo's been playing left back is to keep that connection with the Portuguese connection between Felix and Cancelo. You have Gundogan, who as a left-sided center mid pushes up a lot. Lewandowski, who drops near the middle. Felix is almost a lot of times playing as a secondary 9 under Lewandowski. Here we have him on the left side for this first goal. Gundogan tends to keep this area. De Jong tends to play the more conservative CDM here, dropping back a lot and playing long balls, specifically to Felix, to Rafinha, and then any through balls that come in between Pedri and Lewandowski. Pedri keeping this right-sided center mid spot, and Lewandowski obviously being the 9. So for this first goal, we had the ball coming in. Cancelo misses a challenge against Cuoto, the right back, or I guess right mid in this position for Girona. And the main issue here is this organization in the midfield. So Felix loses the ball here, and this is the issue that tends to happen with Barcelona in these sort of scenarios, is that they're so onto the opponent's field because of the possessive play style that they want to play, that they need a lot of numbers to be able to keep the ball for most of the time. So Koundé tends to be in this area. Cancelo tends to be in this area, and their solution for this is to play that offside trap. The issue with this here is that Gundogan in this position is here. Couto just dribbles past Gundogan. Gundogan is not pressing at all. Couto keeps on going, dribbles past Felix, dribbles past Cancelo. Christensen is playing this high offside trap. Ball goes through over here. Christensen is obviously a lot slower than Sigankov, who's here. So instead of actually following the run of Sigankov or playing that offside trap correctly, which he can't because he is all the way over here, almost by the midfield line, he attempts to make a challenge for this ball, completely misses it. It goes over. Sigankov is now basically one-on-one with Iñaki Peña. Araujo has to come in. He's been tracking back this whole time, has to come running over. Then they have their goal scoring threat, Dobbik, coming in. Koundé has to drop all the way. Now Araujo's over here. Dobbik is all the way over here. And Koundé just can't get over here in time. And Dobbik has a free shot on goal from here. And that makes it 1-0. So one of the main issues and the things we'll see from this specific game is the the wanting to play so high up the field and then the lackluster midfield that's not pressing. It's a midfield really built for building up play, and we don't have a traditional CDM within this midfield. So that's one of the issues that we see with this first goal. Okay, so that was the first goal. The second goal comes shortly after 7 minutes. Lewandowski puts in a cross from Rafinha, which is actually very, very beneficial to us. We've had Lewandowski have some very bad games, and seeing him score again is very important, especially as a number nine. You think that that confidence boost will help him score a lot more goals. So we were very, very happy with that. Unfortunately, it didn't come from open play, but you'll take any type of goal you can get at this point, and that was very good, well taken cross by Rafinha and Lewandowski scoring it. From there, Barcelona hadn't been doing too much, and Girona started getting back on the attack again. Very similar style of play as we saw in that first goal that I described to you guys. For a second shot, it's actually Miguel again driving in, passing it to Dobic at the number 9 spot. He again takes that kind of center channel in between the midfielders because there's not really a lot of dropping happening with Frenkie de Jong, Pedri, and Gundogan. They're trying to play up top the whole game. So now it leaves that space in between the defenders and the midfielders. So Miguel drives in there. Their right back had been actually not overlapping, but doing like an inverted run inside, passing it to Dobic, which is their number 9. Number 9 would hold it a little bit there, pass it back into Miguel, and they had a free shot. Should have scored it to make it 2-1 there, but they didn't. And then again later on, Joao Felix losing the ball up top, which is one of the issues I think with Joao Felix is that he's a very good player, but he has a lot of inconsistency. He tries a lot of fancier stuff down his flank, which is okay, but especially in the type of scenario in which Barcelona play, losing the ball so high up the field is hurts the team a lot. So with that comes again another dribble now from the Girona center mid. Again, dribbles through the middle. Pedri and Gundogan can't keep up. Now, Frenkie de Jong is actually defending next to Koundé, the same exact player, Savinho. They both were in the same exact spot, not really communicating. And then after that, the ball goes back into the center. Savinho's wide open on the left. Ball goes out to Savinho. He passes it back into Miguel, and Miguel misses his second shot. So again, the same sort of thing happening. One of the center mids or left back or right backs is having the space to go into our midfield line, having a ton of time between the midfield and the defensive line to make a couple passing combination and shoots outside. So with that being said, very closely again, we'll get into this third goal that makes it 2-1 for Girona at the 39th minute. Okay, so that takes us onto our third goal, Girona's 2-1 goal. This was actually a really, really beautiful goal by Girona, and I actually can't take much away from this. This was perfect build-up play. Joao Felix comes in to drop here. Daley Blind is playing out of the back, kind of how Barcelona would love to play. Plays it into, I forgot if it was Alex Garcia or their other center midfielder, but they have some interplay here. They just have an overload of numbers with Miguel here. They play in between, and eventually this ball makes it out over here. This player goes here. Ball goes out to Miguel. Now De Jong is trailing on this player. Koundé's here. Araujo's here. Christensen is all the way over here. Miguel keeps on dribbling. De Jong is following this player, so he can't cut down. Koundé's following Savinho over here. Essentially, Miguel sees the space. He keeps on running. This guy makes the cut here. I think Araujo was somewhere down here. I'm not entirely sure. Or, sorry, Araujo is here. Christensen is here. And then there you go. So this is what happened. Christensen takes too long to cut down. Here is Miguel on his would-be third chance now. Coming up, takes the shot and scores a really beautiful goal. So here, I guess the biggest issue was kind of being outnumbered and the center midfielder position. They had some really beautiful interplay when De Jong was here and the ball was coming out of the back. Sort of like this. And the main issue was the fact that Koundé was tied down here and Christensen took so long to come inside here. It's almost as if when this player is coming in and Couto's dribbling with the ball, Christensen should pick up this runner here. So De Jong should step on the ball. Christensen should pick up this runner. And now we have all the space covered and that goal would have been kept. But again, it's a lot of miscommunication from the Barcelona side there. It's been happening a lot where there's just no communication back there. Koundé's having to track down a runner, De Jong's having to track down a runner, and just the defensive structure is just not there to be seen. So that's what happened in that third goal. Okay, so from there on, we went into halftime down 2-1. We would come back and actually see some sort of success. We would start to get a lot of shots on goal, which is why in the match summary you see a lot of shots on goal from Barcelona. Not very meaningful ones, but we started creating a lot of space. We start to see that obviously Girona were playing that three at the back with the four midfielders. So a lot of the times those three center backs would stay back a lot, and then the three Barcelona midfielders would find themselves outnumbering the two Girona midfielders, and there would be open shots. So we were taking those shots, but again, Girona were standing pretty well. Were defending their shots pretty well, and the shots weren't too good to be completely honest. So that's why those shots weren't super meaningful. There were a lot of them, and I think it is good for Barcelona to start mixing in some shots with their build-up play. But overall, there just weren't too many runs in behind or stuff that could really affect and shift the way the Girona players were sitting at the back. So that was a very big issue. And then came the 65th minute with Bart where Xavi actually reshuffled the pack a very good amount. So he took out Joao Felix for Ferran Torres. Joao Felix that was losing a lot of balls, not really bringing in anything special to the team. Lamine Yamal would come on for Rafinha, as it's pretty often happening nowadays. And then the most important one and one that caused a lot of drama was Alex Balde coming in for Christensen. Everybody would have thought, okay, Koundé's going down to center back to form that partnership with Araujo, and then Cancelo would stay at the left and Balde go to the right, or maybe Balde go to the left and Cancelo go to the right. That's mainly what we actually, as Barcelona fans, were expecting. The moment we signed Cancelo, that we would be playing Balde and Cancelo on the wings, as they are the two most really creative people that can cause overlaps and are super fast and skillful. But Xavi actually decided to keep Balde as a center back where Christensen was, and he played Cancelo and Balde right next to each other. So that was a very, very costly mistake. And if our defense wasn't a mess enough, that definitely did not help at all and kind of ruined things. So we'll go into this third goal now. Third goal, ball comes all the way from the goalkeeper onto the newly put in Stuani, obviously a target man, a person that's just supposed to bring down headers. And of course, Xavi had put Balde at center back, and we had seen Balde shoot up the field a lot here to try to get us back to 2-2. So Balde was caught all the way over here. Cancelo was here because he's also shooting up the field. Araujo is now at center back as the only center back. Koundé is at right back. Ball comes into Stuani. Araujo misses this. That it was actually a pretty weak challenge, which is surprising for Araujo, but you can't ask for too much. Stuani heads it down. Ball comes in here. Now Valeri, who is literally waiting for the drop down header, as probably Michel told his players to do. Pass it to Stuani. Stuani will header it down to one of you guys. If it lands right in, you guys can take a shot. Exactly what happens. Stuani brings down that ball. Valerius coming in. Araujo does the worst challenge a defender could possibly do. Completely misses his ball. Valeri goes through and then scores the 3-1 goal, which would basically put it out of reach for Barcelona. So that was an atrocious goal, and completely, again, I would put it fully on Xavi on the fact that he's playing Balde now as a center back, and he is nowhere to be seen, and Koundé has to track all the way in. And you can't really put it all the way on Koundé there because he has to track from right back to the center back slot. But even then, his challenge was pathetic. And after that, the game was basically over. There were two more goals that came in, but the game was completely out of hand by that point. Barcelona does score one, and I think it's very, very important to note that Ferran Torres has been, in my opinion, one of our best players for the past couple of games now. He comes in with such high energy onto the field, makes those in behind runs that Lewandowski kind of stops making now because that's not his type of play style. He's more of a hold up striker and shoot, and Ferran Torres really brings a breath of fresh air when he comes in and makes those runs. And that's exactly what happens with the fourth goal, or with the fifth goal rather. That would make it 3-2. Ferran Torres actually makes a run in behind, gets some space, turns around, passes it into Gundogan, who finishes it tremendously. He does a turnaround basically shot and scores to make it 3-3, but basically the game was over. The Barcelona structure just wasn't there since Balde came on. We didn't have a center back. And I respect Xavi for coming in and throwing everything on the pitch to try to score, but I think he just did it very immaturely. He probably could have set up the defense a little better, and we might have been able to get a tie out of this. But the fourth goal then comes in from Girona, where again it's a long ball. Balde's nowhere to be seen. Araujo is the only center back. A ball just gets played simply across the face of goal, and then the attacker comes in and just taps it in. So it was a pretty embarrassing performance for Barcelona, and I think overall just Michel outcoached Xavi. Xavi really lost the structure in the midfield. The midfielders need to be dropping a little more, or he needs to be setting up a structure so that the defense gets a little more protection, and the defense needs to have some better communication, as well as just also get some confidence. Koundé has been playing horrific out of the back over the past couple of games, having a lot of mistakes, and his defending performances have just not been great individually. So I think that it's a matter of structure in the sense that they really got out coached. There were a lot of lanes in which Girona could play through, and their formation matched up really well against ours. The fact that Barcelona's build-up play is super slow, allowing any team to set up, and without them taking shots or making any runs in behind, it's basically impossible. With João Felix and Lewandowski just waiting for the ball and wanting to dribble, it is not going to happen for us. And then defensively, we just need to be more confident having a better setup. So I think that was the main issue in this game, and it's pretty sad to see Barcelona lose this one. But there's a lot of leagues still to play, and Girona might actually be in for the title race. So hopefully we can see some better performances from Barcelona in the Champions League and coming into the next La Liga games. Thank you for watching this one, guys, and hopefully I'll get to see you guys in the next one.